Welcome to Get Cooking at Maggie's Place, and today I'm going to make red beans and rice. This is a great deal that you can serve as a meal or you can use as a wonderful side dish. We're going to start by cutting up our kielbasa, or you could use smoked sausage for this. I've taken a half of the kielbasa, I've split it down the middle and cut it again, and now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it up into small pieces and add it to my pot, which has about a tablespoon of oil in it. With this dish, it's so wonderful that you can just layer your flavors as you go along, and it's all done in one pot. So let me go ahead and get this chopped up, and then we'll move on to the next few ingredients we're going to use for this really flavorful dish. Our next ingredients are celery, parsley, garlic, onion, and cilantro. First, I'm going to go ahead and split our celery. We do not want this in great big pieces. It is basically to flavor our dish. So I'm just going to cut up a small stalk of celery. If you like celery and you want more, go right ahead. It just adds really great flavor. And we're going to put that into the same pot that we just cooked our sausage in, which I have moved over to a bowl. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice up our onions. Put that into small pieces. This is a favorite in our house, and it's so easy to do. Sometimes I'd be working, I'd come home, and it's so much easier to just pull out a can of red beans, cut up a few vegetables, make a batch of rice, and bam, you've got dinner on the table. Really good dish for the rush nights, or if you're just not into cooking a big meal that night. And we got our onion chopped up, and we're going to add that to the same pot. And we're just going to let that saute and simmer a bit. And we've added our onions and our celery, and we've still got the nice little pieces from the sausage down on the bottom. And we're going to add a little bit of salt to that, help the vegetables sweat out. And I'd like to add some freshly ground pepper set on medium. And we're going to let those saute for a few minutes, give it a cover, and they'll steam really nicely. While our celery and our onions are steaming, we've got our head of garlic here, and I'm going to give that a good mash, and that takes the peel right off. And I'm just going to cut that into slices. If you want it smaller, that's up to you. And we'll add that to the pot just about when our vegetables are ready. The next thing I'm going to do is add cilantro. I prefer fresh cilantro to dried cilantro. And cilantro, I don't want the stems, I just want the leaves. So you give it a good wash, dry it off, and then just pick the leaves right off of it. I've got about a half a cup, not packed, just a half a cup, lightly thrown into my measuring cup of cilantro, or a small handful. I'm going to run my knife through that and give that a good chop. That's going to release some wonderful flavor. This is cilantro in the form of the leaves. If it's in a seed, they call it coriander. It's very popular in a lot of Spanish dishes. And last but not least, our parsley. Fresh, clean flavor. Really nice. Just give that a run through with the knife, and that's it. And you are going to have an awesome, delicious, filling meal. Let's go ahead and check on our vegetables. Our celery and onions softened up. It's coming along just great. And I'm going to add the garlic over here in the corner. I don't want my garlic to burn. I really don't even want it to turn beige. I just want it to soften up. Our garlic is mixed in with our celery and onions, and I'm just going to add a little bit more oil. They really absorb the oil. Give that a little stir, and we're going to throw in our parsley and our cilantro. Mix that up and let them heat through a little bit, start releasing their flavors. Oh, it smells so awesome already. The next thing we're going to add is a 1/4 cup of beer. And we're going to give it a good stir, and it's going to pick up all that great flavor from the bottom, from the sausage and the onions and the celery cooking, and help release the flavor from our herbs. You're going to bring up your heat a bit, about medium-high, and let that start to sizzle and evaporate the alcohol out of the beer. Alright, the alcohol is being evaporated about a minute or two on here, and then we're going to go ahead and add back in our sausage, and we're going to add in a 1-pound can of red beans with the juice. Whole can. We're going to mix that all up together. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper to that. And at this point too, if you'd like to add some heat to your red beans, add a little bit of jalapeno, red pepper flakes, pinch of cayenne pepper. Absolutely delicious. And I'm also going to add a cup of water because the juice from that, the beans, can be a little bit salty. But boy, is it really nice. So we're going to let this simmer uncovered for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and check it to see if it needs salt or more spices. Our beans have been simmering away uncovered for about 10 minutes, and now because of the starch in the beans, the liquid has thickened up a bit. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add in some more fresh cilantro, about another 1/4 cup, and I'm also going to add in about a teaspoon of cumin. Cumin is another spice that's used in a lot of Spanish dishes, and it really brings out the garlic flavor in here as well as the cilantro. Absolutely delicious. We'll let this simmer up for just about another 5 minutes, soften up that fresh cilantro, and blend in the cumin. Our beans are ready to be served, and I like to put mine on a bed of rice. I've cooked up the rice while my beans were cooking, and I must admit I'm not very good at cooking rice, so I used the boil in the bag. If anybody has any great ideas to help me cook rice, please contact me through maggiesplacecookbook.info, and I'd be happy to read what you have to say. And there we have it. There is our red beans and rice that you can serve as a side dish, or you can serve as a meal. Thank you for joining us today at Get Cooking at Maggie's Place, and I hope you enjoy this in your home.